Miami Vice originally aired from 1984 to 1989 on NBC, and it's one of those shows that left a huge mark on television, influencing everything from fashion to how we think about cool detective shows. It was created by Anthony Yerkovich and produced by Michael Mann, and it's a blend of police procedural and action drama set in the heart of Miami, which made it both exotic and gritty. The plot. The show focuses on two main characters, detectives James Sonny Crockett, played by Don Johnson, and Ricardo Rico Tubbs, played by Philip Michael Thomas. They work undercover for the Metro-Dade Police Department, often taking on high-stakes drug lords, smugglers, and other criminals. Each episode has its own crime story, but there's an ongoing arc about the personal lives of the characters, especially Sonny's turbulent emotional life. The beauty of Miami Vice was how it didn't just focus on the cases, but also explored the price of living that kind of dangerous double life. The characters. Sonny Crockett. Crockett is a complicated character, a man who has seen the darker side of life and struggles with the personal toll of his work. He's cool, tough, and mysterious, sort of the prototype for the modern antihero. Don Johnson's portrayal was the thing that made Crockett unforgettable, with his suave demeanor and killer fashion. Rico Tubbs, Philip Michael Thomas. Tubbs is more of a straight shooter compared to Crockett. He's a New York detective who moved to Miami to hunt down his brother's murderer, which gives his character a bit of personal depth. Tubbs is more grounded, but no less dedicated to his job. Other key characters. The team had a great dynamic, with characters like the easygoing detective Stan Switek, Michael Talbot, and the tough but loyal detective Larry Zito, John Deal. And let's not forget Gina Calabrese, Olivia Round, and Trudy Joplin, Santiago, who were the two badass female detectives. Their chemistry made the show feel really balanced. Don Johnson's career. Before Miami Vice, Don Johnson wasn't a household name, but the show really catapulted him to stardom. His portrayal of Sonny Crockett, especially his effortless coolness and fashion-forward looks, made him a pop culture icon. It didn't just stop with the show. Johnson's career also expanded into music, with his 1986 album Heartbeat, and into films like Harley Davidson and The Marlboro Man and Tin Cup. Later in his career, Don Johnson got more recognition for his acting chops with shows like Nash Bridges and even in films like Django Unchained and Knives Out, but Miami Vice will always be his signature role. The seasons. Miami Vice evolved quite a bit over its run. The first two seasons were pretty much set in the neon-lit world of 80s excess, filled with intense drug busts, fast cars, and a flashy style that defined the show. It had that high-energy vibe with synth-heavy music that paired perfectly with the action. From seasons 3 to 5, the show started diving deeper into more personal stories about the characters, especially Crockett. By season 5, things started to get darker and more introspective. It reflected a more somber tone, especially as Crockett went through some emotional and psychological struggles. The later seasons weren't as bright and flashy, but they were still captivating and carried a lot of emotional weight. Pop culture influence. Miami Vice didn't just influence TV, it changed the whole cultural landscape of the 80s. The show set trends in fashion, especially with Crockett's famous pastel suits, t-shirts, and loafers. It was all about that casual yet slick vibe, which made men want to embrace the cool style. The cars were also iconic, especially Crockett's Ferrari Testarossa. It wasn't just a car. It was an extension of his personality and the show's high-octane energy. The music was another huge element. Miami Vice was known for using rock and pop hits to create an atmospheric vibe, whether it was the haunting instrumental soundtrack or having artists like Phil Collins, Glenn Frey, and Jan Hammer contribute to the iconic sound. It really set the stage for how music could be integrated into storytelling on TV. The 2006 reboot. In 2006, Miami Vice was reimagined for the big screen by Michael Mann, starring Colin Farrell as Sonny Crockett and Jamie Foxx as Ricardo Tubbs. The film took the same concept but updated it with a darker, more gritty approach. The film version didn't have the same flash and pizzazz of the original show. It leaned into a more realistic and atmospheric tone, reflecting how much pop culture had shifted since the 80s. While it didn't get the same level of cultural impact as the original series, the film did have its own flair. The visuals were stunning, with Mann's signature use of neon lighting and atmospheric cinematography. The movie had a bit of a cult following, but it didn't quite resonate as much as the original series. Interesting tidbits: Miami Vice wasn't just a TV show, it was an experience. It captured the spirit of Miami with its vibrant colors, unique architecture, and the contrast between wealth and the gritty underside of the city. The show's fast pace, stylish look, and innovative soundtrack were so ahead of its time, it made other shows want to mimic its look. The show had a huge impact on fashion, TV production style, and even music videos. It influenced how music, visuals, and action could be blended into storytelling. To sum it up, Miami Vice wasn't just a detective show, it was a cultural moment. It blended cool style, music, and a deep dive into the lives of its complex characters, all wrapped up in a glossy, neon lit world. It showed how TV could be more than just entertainment, it could influence an entire era. Whether you're into crime dramas, 80s nostalgia, or just appreciate the aesthetics, Miami Vice is still worth revisiting today.